Hello everyone, welcome to Fubl Games. This will be my review of episode 4, season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. I'm not seething mad like I am of last week's episode. This episode focuses mainly on intercrew issues and finding out more about Adira's Trill. So they head to Trill to find out more about the joining, why it's not transferring memories and stuff like that. Um, so starting off, one of my big issues is still Saru is captain, but is still being told by everybody what to do. It's a common theme. They told Pike what to do half the time too. It's my biggest problem with Discovery. One of my biggest problems is the captain is just sidelined. The rest of the crew basically bosses him around. So we finally get to Trill. We find out the Trills have become very xenophobic. And what I'm surprised about is that they kind of forgot, I think it was O'Down who bonded with Riker for emergency so they could complete that deal, the peace treaty. That was kind of interesting. So, and also finding out that Trills are actually running out of host, which back in DS9, the problem was that they were told 1 in 1,000 could basically be joined. But on a deep dive, Jadzia found out that actually 50% of the population of Trill could actually be joined. But it was kept away from more common people, the average Trill. So there's a lot of interpersonal conflict bubbling on Discovery, and Saru's trying to figure out how to basically deal with it, and he starts having the computer spit out some ideas of how to help the crew basically relax and maybe deal with some of their issues. As he's discussing it, the computer actually freaks out, and basically it's becoming kind of a self-aware AI between the spear data and the computer of Discovery, and it starts telling him that they just need R&R. So he holds the dinner. Things start bubbling out. Again, I always like snarky Georgiou. I really wish this Section 31 show would happen, but I feel like she's wasted on Discovery, and I would just like seeing her do her thing as an independent operator. Detmer, which is the pilot of the ship, seems to be having a lot of issues. I don't know if it's her cybernetics are going haywire, if she's infected slightly by control. It's really weird. It's almost like she's almost got split personality. Not quite, but definitely something's going on there. Um, so they are all sitting at the table, everybody except Burnham, who's down on the plant with Drea, who's helping her go through the trials of the joining and basically making sure that is a more suitable connection. We definitely get a lot more of her backstory. She was on a generational ship. Some other things. So she was basically forced to take the Trill due to the previous host, who was her boyfriend, who was badly injured when something happened to the generation ship they were on. So that covers most of it. I'm definitely going to give this more on my scale of things. I want to say, I actually want to give it like a 65-70 out of 100. Definitely a vast improvement over the last episode. Still some issues with just like the big issue is Saru's basically sidelined as captain. I mean, some of it is he's inexperienced as captain, but honestly, some of it's also how they write the captain as being basically told what to do instead of him being the one to give commands. Then they almost had me enjoying the interpersonal, and then so Tilly and Stamus had a fight, and it was because they need to find a new control system for the spore drive. Only because if something happens to Stamus, they have no control. So Tilly's got ideas. So after the dinner breaks out into a name calling match and some other stuff, Tilly's the first one to come back. She was actually being really reasonable with Saru and saying he was on the right track. It needed to bubble up all the pent up frustrations, and then Stamus comes back in and he agrees that they need to find another way, and apologizes to Tilly. And this is where the personality traits of the crew sometimes grate on me, and it's Stamus, Tilly, Burnham. It's one of the only personality traits that I really don't like about how these characters are written, and that is those three were already know-it-all characters, and then we added Adira, who seems to also, thanks to being a Trill, who has 7 or 8 lifetimes of knowledge now, basically another know-it-all character. So Stamus apologizes and says that he didn't appreciate Tilly, and she's like, "Oh, I know you." And it's like, just let the man apologize and move on. You didn't have to one up and say you knew it and all that. And then they kind of celebrate Detmer for being the pilot and basically getting them down in one piece onto the ice planet 2 episodes ago. Trying to save the ship and being the one who's got to worry about everybody's life. And the episode ends with basically the Trills now looking at the future. They really were about to have no future, and then Adira basically giving Burnham the coordinates for Starfleet HQ, which we don't know where that is until next episode. So, as I said, I want to give it a 65-70. So, basically a B, which isn't bad. It could have been, like I said, I really wanted to give last episode a negative. I like that they actually spent time, gave the crew a little bit of breath of air. Was definitely a lot more. There wasn't really any problems to solve other than the joining, and I mean, yeah, how they set the episode up, could only be one solution or two. But we shall see how it goes and see how the next episode is. So I'm going to say this episode is definitely a vast improvement in the series. So far out of the season, I've liked episodes 2 and 4. 1 was okay, and 3 was just bad, in my opinion. But that's where we are. So, I promised to do a review of Mandalorian Season 1, or Season 2, Episode 1, but unfortunately I didn't get to it over the weekend. I was painting some minis or just chilling. And then this week I kind of just didn't want to do anything due to I just wanted to zone out from the election stuff. So this weekend I should do episodes 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. I also wanted it to breathe a little bit, so be on the lookout for that. If you haven't already, hit the wonderful follow button. that will be it for now. I'm trying to actually do more just videos instead of live streams. So we shall see. So I can do some like editing and stuff like that. All right, everyone, peace out. Have a good one, and thank you for your support.